Hello all, I'm Josh. This is Josh Build Stuff. Today we're talking about every single LEGO City Formula 1 set that released at the beginning of 2024. I think it's like 6 or 7 sets. It's gonna be like $200 or $300 total. Let's talk about them individually. Obviously, there are going to be some similarities between these sets, so see if you can spot some and leave a comment down below if you can. First up, like the McLaren team of old or Lando Norris himself, it's small but mighty. This is going to serve as the blueprint for essentially 6 wide Formula 1 cars in this entire wave, and they gave us McLaren as a standalone team for some reason. I know what you're asking. If LEGO was still making 6 stud wide speed champion sets, is this what a Formula 1 set would have looked like? Honestly, compared to what were actually 6 stud wide Formula 1 vehicles from a couple of years ago, yeah, basically the same thing plus or minus a few cheese wedges. Now, if I'm about to be building this set 6 to 8 times, it better be decent, and that's exactly what it is. I would call it decent. It's a little smaller than the real car, but that's okay. I'm out of garage space anyway. As for details, it's got almost slick tires that can be fixed with a belt sander. It's got front and rear wings. I think Red Bull gave them those. The halo's nice. Not as good as Halo 2, but at least there was no battle pass system in those days. Not yet. Now taking a left down Disappointment Drive, it's time for our next set. This is the F1 Williams Racing and Haas F1 Race Cars for $20. This is a 4+ set, hence the disappointment. It's every 4+ year old's favorite racing teams, the red team and the blue team. It's hard to believe this is the new look of LEGO City Formula 1 cars for 2025, because it isn't. These cars are completely unique and they're completely out of place in this video and in this wave of cars. That's what you get with 4+ sets. Some kind of go-kart looking folk art facsimiles of Formula 1 cars at best. I have a 4+ year old and I thought I'd ask him what he thought about these sets, but he wouldn't give me an answer because he was still mad that I let his 7+ year old brother build these sets instead of him. But to be fair, he wanted to play VR at the time, not build LEGO. So I asked his 7+ year old brother what he thought about these sets, but he didn't hear me because he had headphones on and he was playing Roblox on his iPad with his cousins. So yeah, buy these sets at your own risk. Not yet. For $30, you and I are about to be able to own the new F1 grid with VCARB and Sauber race cars. That's right, there is a set with these 6 wide cars that's not actually out yet. I really wish I could give an honest opinion on these cars, but I just can't without holding them in my hands. I wouldn't be an honest reviewer if I gave an opinion on this set before I owned it. LEGO is so good at making so many different unique types of LEGO sets, and they've been doing it for so long that it wouldn't be right for us to blame them for taking this year off, right? Just phoning it in, saying, let's just re-release the same set 6 to 10 times. People will buy it, right? And then in 2026, we'll get back to the good stuff. Why is this set coming out later than the others? I don't know, let's speculate. Maybe LEGO's giving their usual demographic time to get used to the idea of female drivers, or maybe in keeping with Team Steak Kick Sauber's theme, they're waiting for a few of their investments to pan out before they finally drop this set on shelves. You can talk about gambling companies, you can't talk about... Not yet. Though I guess the set will let you recreate that one time that guy from Smosh waved the checkered flag at a race. So maybe that'll be the tipping point for you to get this set, or not. Also for $30, let's talk about something we can hold in our hand today. This is the F1 Pitstop and Pit Crew with Ferrari car. That's almost as long as Carlos Sainz's full name.
Carlos Sainz Vázquez de Castro, Cenamor, Rincón, Rebollo, Virto, Moreno, de Aranda, Don Perú, Riagoitia, Pérez del Puga.
We'll miss you, buddy. I know he's just going to Williams, but you know he ain't gonna get any TV coverage over there. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and yes, that new Ferrari is exactly the same scale as the McLaren. In fact, it is exactly the same build as the McLaren. You can't even fake minor differences in details across the cars at this scale. They're all the same. They're different colors. What do you want? Details in your LEGO set? Absurd. LEGO's done it before, and I think they've done it again. What I'm talking about is making LEGO sets depicting pit stops and doing it pretty well. I say they've done it pretty well because what is a pit stop, if we're getting philosophical? Well, it's nothing. It's the space, the empty space where a car goes to have work done to it, and you can't sell empty space. Actually, LEGO probably could. It'd be a new LEGO Star Wars set. Just call it empty space. I digress. In the past, LEGO's given us full-on road plates. Now they've given us their smaller version of a road plate, still there, and then the extra accessories around the pit stop is the people that come in and do the pit stop, and they've even made that into a play feature. Look at this, my pit stop people can come flying in on these big old cantilevering bars, and that's actually exactly what happens in a real F1 race. You just can't usually see it because the entire thing is happening in 1.98 seconds or so. I did think it'd be fun to compare this set to its pit stop predecessor from 20 years ago, and the difference is obvious. The difference being that the new one is clearly better. There's not as much of that empty space that Lego's selling us anymore, but I think in most languages, new means better, and one of those languages is Lego. It is fun to finally see some of this official F1 branding coming through on actual real Lego sets. Like, there's an F1 logo you can see in this set that's the same as the F1 logo that's now on the box. Not yet. We do have a Ferrari driver, call him Chuck McClick if we want to. I don't know, I don't want to, but I can't call him Charles. Also, Lego had a chance to do something really clever here by keeping all the colors in this set team agnostic. That way this pit stop could work for any theoretical Lego team, right? They had a chance to do that. They didn't do that. They still made the entire pit stop red. At least the minifigures, they're orange, which doesn't pertain to any particular Formula One teams, who definitely don't just look like a bunch of black belts that just escaped from the local Lego prison. Where's Chase McCain when you need him? Not yet. Even so, I think this pit crew has the toughest job in all of motorsports, because by the time every car comes through their pit lane, every single one, by the end of the race, will be retired. For $40, you too can own the Lego Duplo Town F1 Team race cars and drivers. That's right, it's a Duplo set. I don't want to talk about it any more than you want me to talk about it, so I won't. But just know it exists, and remember, Duplo means twice the size for twice the price. For half the pieces, it's not a great deal, but you get every single team represented, yay! Have you ever wanted to hold an entire Formula One garage in your hands? Me neither, but now you and I can for the low price of only $80. This is the F1 garage and Mercedes, AMG, and Alpine cars. There may or may not be too many ampersands in that title. This set actually has a play feature. You can make believe that you're an Alpine fan. Wow, we found one of them. Got him. This set does have an actual play feature, just like in a real Formula One garage. You push a button in the back and the car goes launching forward right out of the garage. Okay, maybe I don't understand it in terms of real Formula One, but it's still fun to do. A couple driver minifigures we get hanging out here. We get Nigel Mansell in the Alpine for some reason, and then George Russell in drag racing car that looks like a Formula One car in that Mercedes there. We also got a bunch of these generic F1 employees, so they can all stand around. You can recreate them, I don't know, discussing how cost caps are working exactly as intended and how F1 is still interesting to watch despite controversial sponsorships and the growing number of human rights violations being committed in the background of one of the wealthiest, least accessible sports on the planet. My coffee's gone cold. I know I should be commenting on the cars more, but they're the same. They're all exactly the same, just different colors. I have no right to be upset about that. This is unjustified anger. Here's something fun though. Lego had an opportunity to make this garage completely team agnostic. Unfortunately, they decided to do exactly the opposite, and all of the decals and coloring they're just Alpine colors for some reason. Hope you like pink and blue. Here's a graph that shows that the number of penalties that can be given to any team is inversely proportional to that team's popularity. Sorry, Haas. Also, this Target sticker subliminally saying to buy your Lego sets at Target with the red card, because then you get an instant 5% off instead of having to accumulate points, which can be used later. I don't know why Lego's promoting a competitor. Overall garage is not worth $80 unless you want it. Then get it. I don't know. You know what's not worth $80? The F1 truck with RB20 and AMR 24 F1 cars. It's not worth $80 because it is worth $100. I think it'll be the most popular set in the wave, hence it was back ordered early on. This set, if you look carefully, it's actually two cars dressed in a trench coat, and the trench coat just happens to look like a semi-trailer truck. It's finally time. I ran out of Red Bull. Now I'm drinking iced coffee. It's finally time to talk about Red Bull. We can acknowledge it. Lego cannot. This is an 8+ set. If Lego acknowledged that this was a Red Bull vehicle, which would be an advertisement for an energy drink, they would have had to make this an 18+ set, which would have changed a lot. For example, the box probably would have been black. Kick and Steak, they're not good websites, and we can talk about them, but we can't talk about energy drinks. I'm not mad about that either. And this also is not Max Verstappen or the other guy. Of course, there's more to this set than a Red Bull car. There's also an inaccurately colored Aston Martin car. maybe they'll finally get the color right in the Speed Champions. Nope, they got that wrong too. At least at this scale, it'll be easier to color swap to teal or aqua or whatever we said would work better. But what about the printed pieces? I know, stickers don't sound so bad now, do they? But speaking about that truck is what we're doing now. It's a good size. It's got room for both cars on the inside. Got more of that great F1 branding on it in the form of the F1 logo on the back of it, and if you notice, that's actually the same logo that matches the F1 logo on the box. Isn't that cool? Not only is this a truck, it's also got a little space for a little racing sim in there, and it's got little shocks on that racing sim itself, and you can even put the sticker on upside down. You can put that on in whatever direction you want it to go for your own personal taste. That's a fun little extra quote-unquote play feature, I guess. Otherwise, the play feature is that it's a big truck that you can roll around, not roll this way, roll this way. Here's the thing, I'm making fun of this F1 branding. Oh, it's just, they just slapped the logo on things and now it's official, and now we want these sets. That's exactly the case. If these were just generic, non-licensed Formula One looking sets, I probably wouldn't buy them, but because they got the real F1 logo there, and they got real F1 looking cars, and almost F1 branding on every car, well, now I want them. That's literally all it took. What do you call it when a hypocrite admits fault? Josh from Josh Builds Stuff, apparently. So overall, worth like $300 for all these sets? No, absolutely not. Skip the Duplo set, skip the 4+ set unless you really want those racing suits. Everything else, kind of worth picking up, at least for the 6 wide cars. If you get anything on discount, yeah, then it's absolutely